shit.
It was not part 1. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Dark Ages by night of our fucking bullshit. And we are picking up, leaving King Tether's lovely village of otters and onions, where the moat has now been permanently stained. The water is now red forevermore.
Damn right.
Who wants to go first?
I'm still not exactly clear on why I'm here.
Herminus, according to Jake, last scene, you've been staying in, like, the hidden rooms of his home and giving him advice.
Okay.
And being generally his drinking buddy.
Okay.
Making bets on the otter races and such.
You know how old otter race is? That's beneath us. We're not Romans.
Oh, shit. So, yeah. Josh, you could even go first if you want, while Kay tries to get into situation and character.
Alrighty, perfectly fine with that.
You're probably riding up front with Magna and Grog, which, for some reason, Grog's online, he's just not here.
I thought the group had split up all of a sudden. Alright.
We're all going north towards Snow.
Okay.
And the lovely trader who ran off to take care of his own village instead of help his allies down.
Alright. Perfectly understandable that a gigantic legionnaire general would be in the vanguard, of course. Basically, he's just looking around and trying to see if there's any devastation or any sign of enemy encampment or anything that I will need to go smashy smash on.
Not really. You aren't going to really find, like, random travelers right now. You find a couple of corpses hanging along the road from trees. Find a
Like,
few burnt bodies, that sort of thing.
severely desiccated bodies, like these have been rotting for days and they smell horrible and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There's even a few that are fresh, like a couple of days or two. Jake, you would notice some of them, you recognize some of them as children from your village.
Oh, what the fuck? We're on the road now? I'm on the road as well?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we have all those people with us, or no, we're going...
Yeah, you know where you're going, you're all together, you're going to Matt's village, Magna's showing you the way.
Okay. Am I on my, like, own horse, or...
You have your own horse.
Yeah.
Magna actually gave you a horse to use.
Alright.
It said she bought it for you, but, you know, Ravanos. Her people, she made them go to the very back to travel with you guys. Even your people are in front of her people right now, which they're not too happy about that, but they're listening.
If
Good.
possible, I will be in the coach.
Yeah, the Nosferatu has taken over Lady Helena's coach. Her little covered travel carriage she did.
So I know about this?
Yeah, you know about it.
Alright, I'm gonna go get in the coach. I'm gonna give my horse to, like, somebody to hold on to while we ride. I'm gonna get in that coach.
Pig-Nosed Pete's gonna ride your horse then.
Alright, but if I tell him if he fucks up, it's gonna be a flogging.
To describe what you're looking at in the coach, Herminus is about 7 foot tall,
Yes.
long, thin, and stretched. He is covered in scabs and blisters. He usually coughs every now and again very heavily, and his fingers are unnaturally long and spidery. If he were to stand up straight, they would extend about down to his knees.
Gross.
Out of character, Cade, I just love your character just by the description. Thank you. Alright, back in character.
Tether's wearing, like, I guess some chainmail, and, like, his fucking kilt and tabard, and, some sort of kingly headgear. He's gonna get into the coach or whatever. He's gonna be like, well, you have a moment.
Of course.
Right.
Time on the road.
So I don't expect you to get directly involved in any kind of conflict unless you're willing to do so of your own free will. but I could use any information you might have about these Romans and their tactics and things we can use, because apparently they've been telling me that our men are undisciplined and vastly outnumbered and all sorts of nonsense. I don't understand any of it.
I will confer with the clan elders. I can make no such ventures on my own.
Well, I hope you are able to get word to them very soon, because we are closing in on those cunts, and I don't know if we're prepared. I'm prepared, but I don't know if they're prepared. He points out like the window at the fucking dudes in brass.
What exactly are you trying to achieve here?
Oh, I'm just trying to dispose of this prince so that I can continue to rule my lands in the way I'm accustomed and gradually ease them into the ways of Rome. It's going to be the next great city, I'm sure you know.
Do you truly think yourself capable of assassinating a prince?
Oh, yes.
If it were that easy, everybody would have done it already, I assure you.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly certain I can do it. We have quite many men here, so I don't think his men will be a problem.
It's your funeral.
Like I said, I'm not asking you to get directly involved in anything you don't want to.
We'll see when we get there. I'll see if I can take a look.
Right. Well, you enjoy the ride. And he gets out and goes back to find his horse.
Pegnos Pete is sitting it, actually holding up a small banner with your insignia on it. He's just your squire and flag boy right now.
Alright, I tell him to get back on his jackass and keep holding my my banner.
Okay, you wouldn't put it like that. He goes back there, he gets on the ugliest mule you've ever seen. Like,
Good.
bald and brawny. It looks like something a Nosferatu would embrace and riding it.
Yeah, good. That's the one I would give him anyway.
The riding side by side with your men, by the way, are the archers.
I tell my men to like ride in front of them and stop fucking talking to them.
No, they're not even talking to him. The women are just riding side by side, mixed in with your squad.
Alright, I'm watching that very carefully.
I'm watching it so careful because I'm paranoid of these Celts.
Let's see. The next town you would reach before you reached Matt's, we will call Riverton, and
Riverton.
it's got a very, very large lake beside it, and it's basically trades fish and carpentry, like furniture, statues, and they're also known for making honey and beeswax style dyes.
Huh. This town sucks and has no commodities that I want.
You can keep going, or you can make sure you have everything you need, or you
I'll
have
go.
to
Yeah,
talk to.
I'll go check with the Legionnaires and ask them to be in charge of supplies, and then we can stop for as long as like 2 hours.
Hey, they'll go in, they'll try to get supplies. You'll see a couple of guys that look like maybe late 30s come back with them offering up to fight with you. They've
Yeah,
got
okay.
crappy looking harpoon things with them as well.
All right, is this town ruled by any like royalty or like pseudo royalty?
They tell you they've got a duke, but he's not nobility or anything, but he's their leader.
All right, I want to talk to
They
him.
just call him the duke. They'll go ahead and show you to him. He looks maybe 80s or 90s, real old, wrinkly kind of guy. He's got like a deck of cards sitting out in front of him, and he's just kind of leaned back. His teeth are all gnarled and yellow, and his eyes are all sunken in. But his clothes are nice. He's got actually really fine leather on, and he's got a lot of fur pelts that look like they've been traded from your village.
Mm-hmm. I'll give him like some kind of courtly thing, but I'm not going to kneel. I don't even really want to bow. But,
You notice as you start to kneel, about 6 women all wearing like leather fancy headbands come in. They put some drinks and like little cheeses and stuff down, and they all kneel at his feet.
I do
And
not kneel.
well, they're kneeling facing towards you. They're sitting at his feet. And he
Yeah.
goes, "What can I do for you, lads?"
I was like, well, I don't know. I'm going to explain to him about that fucking shit that just happened.
You do
I'm
have
gonna,
like 2 con artists traveling with you.
who are they?
You've got the out of character. You've got the Magna and you've got the Nosferatu, who are both smooth talkers.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know that. I just deliver messages.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I mean, you do know Magna's a fucking Rovnos, so.
Yeah, but like, I'm the fucking. This is my neighbor. I have to do the convincing.
So think of how you want to
No, I
convince
got it.
him.
I have it. I already got it. Be like, oh, I'm sure that at least by now word has reached you of what the legionnaires of the Rogue Legion have done to my village. They are marching on the rest of us. Like, we're meeting them at whatever the town is that I think we're supposed to be meeting them at with the snow, and gathering an army of our countrymen to push the Romans back. Will you support us, or will you fall?
He looks at you and goes, "I've only got those 4 lads I sent to you of fighting age left. My other men are out fishing till the end of the season. They won't be back from across the lake.
That is
Unless you're
much more of a hindrance back in Roman times than it is now. Goddamn. Can't you send them a boat?
At this point, the man kind of chuckles and goes, "Unless you want me to arm one of my wee little daughter wives for you."
I know, I'm tired of the women soldiers. What do you think this is? And I'll just like take the 4 guys and the supplies and storm out. And I write on my list, Riverton expendable.
Was I present, or did I overhear any of this?
Yeah, you overheard the whole conversation, including daughter wives.
As he's on his way out, I'll just stalk up behind him. Perhaps you ought to handle your allies with a bit more grace, Tether.
This is no ally of mine. He has 4 men. He is a pustule upon my land.
You do notice there's like boys that look about 12, 13 years old, but they're like all real scrawny, running around doing like catching little shrimp and stuff along the shore.
I storm back inside. What do you mean you've only 4 boys to fight me? There's at least a score of them outside.
He looks outside and goes, "You think I'm gonna send my son/grandsons with you to a death scene? Before they're even played my mind, I need someone besides my daughter wives to take over when I die." And with this, he starts hacking blood up everywhere.
Well, you're about to die any minute now, old man. And these boys can either die fighting for their homes, or they can die in their beds when the Romans burn this town to the ground. Either way, I'm leaving.
As you're leaving, a couple of the boys do drop their nets and ask to go with you, but most of them are cowards or very, very weak. This is a village of fucking cowards and ass kissers.
Yes, but you could totally use them for Operation Human Shield while you get the archers ready.
Oh, dear God. Okay, great.
I assure you this village is of some value. Allow me to demonstrate.
Yeah. Let's see how you do.
I'm going to approach one of the paupers, if they're around. Are there any around?
Like, there's some people that look homeless, but you're not really sure. You would probably have to talk to them and figure them out.
Yo, Cade, you would love my town, dude. It's populated almost entirely by onion poppers.
So I'm gonna hunch over and I'm gonna hide my fingers in my cloak.
Still alive?
Excuse me.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Still alive.
One of the old men turns to you and goes, "If you're gonna cough like a beggar, you go sit with little Cindy," and points at a kid.
I apologize. I need to see your elder, your village leader, your community leader.
He looks at you confused. And he goes, "I just saw watch junk come out of the bugger's house."
Not the Jew. No. The commoners, leader. You know what I'm talking about.
He looks at you and shakes his head and just kind of goes back towards the water fishing.
He walks back over to Tuttle. You're right. This village is useless.
I told you, it's like a fucking. I don't even know. We should raise it ourselves, but we don't have time. I'll put it on the list.
At this point, sorry, Jake, I gotta fuck with you because you've been so sexist. The little girl they had told you to go sit with us walked up and goes, "I can show you the way for a piece of meat." To the lovely Nosferatu.
I'm going to reach into my pouch. I'm going to fumble around and see if I have something like that.
You've got. Some of your men have dried bread. Some of Jake's men have dried bread and dried meat for the road.
He's gonna back away a bit. I don't have any meat, but what I do have is this. He pulls out a coin. Being careful not to show too long, just his fingertips from underneath his cloak.
She's grabbed the Nosferatu's hand and she's like, "You come with me. The others can wait." And is trying to drag your lovely Nosferatu friend away, Jake.
That's fine. I'm gonna just like ride up to where Josh is and start taking notes about the town, so I know where best to throw torches when I leave.
What do you want me to do with the scraps we acquired?
Oh well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you found them, they're yours.
I'm talking about the gangly little lads they about to pass off as warriors.
Oh right, they're for a brilliant plan I've just come up with called Operation Human Shield.
Oh. Interesting.
Like I said, they can either die defending their homes or die in their beds. Either way, it's happening sooner rather than later.
Good way to put this. If you get warriors from the next village, this plan will get a lot more humorous. Okay, while y'all do that, Cade, she led you into what looks like a small hovel, and it's just a really old, like looks even older than the Duke guy, just sitting there at the fire.
He'll bow. Good evening, sir.
He'll motion Cindy to sit down. He'll kind of slit his wrist. He's kind of disfigured. You notice he's got scars, but he's not like hideous. He's just like a creepy. You'd like walk away and think he was somebody hurt in war. And he's letting her kind of laugh at his wrist as he looks over at you. He starts to open his mouth and he's got the traditional Nosferatu fangs. And he goes, "What can I do for you?"
You're with the local sewer rats here, I am.
Not many of us in this village. Not many mortals like Cindy here to work with.
He takes off his face mask.
He looks at his little girl Ghoul and says, "Go back to work. My brother and I need to speak." And she'll just kind of run out of the hovel. "So what do you need?"
Well, firstly I needed to know that this village was being monitored. I suspect we might be seeing a lot of legionnaires strolling about the countryside soon.
Oh, did the Duke try to convince you fishing is all they trade in here?
Well, that was all he mentioned. Is that all?
How about information for information? We don't see legions as large as yours come through. Where are you marching to, soldiers?
What can you trade me?
I can
What are you
tell
willing to give?
you what this lovely man's been getting from the eastern lands.
Very well. Where was it we were marching to?
Unnamed town in the north.
Matthewstown.
Yeah, Matthewstown. Whatever. Yo, Matt, what's your town called?
Um, Jess, have I?
You're at home now. We'll describe it in a moment, okay?
Oh, okay. Um, uh, I have to. I wrote it down. Hold on. Let me find it.
I meant we'll describe what you find when you get there.
Oh no, I was talking about the name. The name of the town.
Trying to remember any bits of information that might be prevalent to Ostrogoths, but there were so many different tribes of all these that were running around.
They were
Eh,
cool, though. And they had cool hats.
Okay, I've done Googling this to make sure I can actually do this historically. I can. Alright, so do you give him all your info or just a little bit, Cade?
I give him the name of the town, that's all.
Why are you marching there?
That wasn't the trade.
Hmm. You know, the Duke had a lovely man called the Prince come through, going that same way a while back. Had the most pretty blonde hair, but would only come out at nighttime.
Curious. What do you know about him?
No, he's got an insane half brother, a sister whose mother was a whore, and that's about all I know about him.
That'll do. I appreciate your time.
Why are you going north?
The
I
clan told me to.
The Duke has gotten fire powder from the eastern lands. Not really sure what it does. I don't touch the stuff. I've never seen it. And I've only heard rumors. Smells awful, I can tell, because the ships smell like it.
He nods. Do you know where he keeps it?
I believe he keeps it in his warehouse under his home.
Okay. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Stand and bow.
Okay, as you leave, you see Cindy's back in the same spot, begging and playing with some painted rocks. You're not really sure how she got him dyed.
I want to put another coin in our hands. Go on my way.
She'll kind of look at it, she'll bite it to make sure it's real, and then she'll kind of put it in a little pouch and keep begging.
Still not.
So you can go and tell Jake what you found out, or you can go and confront the Duke.
Tether. A moment of your time.
Yes. I think I have all I need here. And he rolls up like a scroll.
I assure you, you don't. How many men does the Duke have guarding his castle?
I think I have all 4 of them.
At a character arcade, you would have noticed 2 men standing outside the house, but they're older than the men that came with Jake.
Only 2?
Yeah, only 2. He's not too worried about you guys. He's a feeble, half-insane old man who just wants to burn everything if it tries to challenge him.
How would you feel about bloodying your hands a little bit?
What did you have in mind? We're about to do quite a bit of that.
I happen to know that our leader here stocked a sizable amount of fire powder.
What in the hell is fire powder?
I'm not entirely sure.
It sounds pretty good though. Might be worth something at least. You could always use resources. I'm gonna call over Gaius. Come here for a minute.
He'll hold up a hand, Wait. Here's what we need to do. We're gonna do this. We need to kill him. I will find a member of the community that can step up and manage this town in the meantime. The longer the Roman bureaucracy is not aware of this, the longer we have an allied town guaranteed in our pocket.
At this point, Magna has come over and she's just quietly listening. You have noticed since her and Grog's character have talked, she's become very nice and docile.
I'm gonna bitch slap her for listening in on my conversation.
She'll just get the Nosferatu glow.
She just
The jet
shrugs
black eye.
away.
Woman, sink her. That's funny.
She's got a compulsion to eavesdrop. Sorry, guys.
It's annoying.
I know. At this point, you guys can keep plotting. She's kind of ignoring you again.
Why don't we just take the fire powder?
We could, but then that would guarantee him as an enemy in our future, and he might be one ahead of us.
Aye, but I could just send someone from my town to control this small settlement.
Do you have a seneschal or somebody you could put in place here?
I have some mortal men who could do the job.
That'll do.
Alright, so I'll send...
We need some time. We don't think we can do this tonight. I need time to get the peasants on board with this.
Alright, I'll send a letter back home. Or I'll send a messenger or something.
Messenger nods at you and takes off with the message back to your village. So you have to do this however you want to do it.
We'll get it. We'll have it sent to us.
Yeah, Matt. Real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and let you see how it is. When you get back to your town, you notice parts of it are on fire. You have men injured, scattered about. You have women and children hanging from the gate entrance.
All right. I
Quite a
stand
few
there
of
at the
your
gate.
attractive women are gone.
But well, before I find that, I stand at the gate, watching in horror the people hanging there. I slowly walk through the threshold. I look at everything. Who survived?
You have a few soldiers who are trying to put out the fires. It seems, they got the enemies to leave. Some of your soldiers, they inform you, have gone off after the prince. And they tell you Prince Adonis did it and left. And you also notice your actual home in your village was one of the first buildings they inform you that was set upon fire with your mortal family inside.
I help them try to put out the fire.
Okay. So you're
The
gonna need
rot
a
Shrek test.
roll.
Yep.
That's gonna be badass if you do that.
What do I have to roll? Just courage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just courage.
I think you could spend a willpower too.
I don't know if this
Yeah,
is the same as
I think I will. Yeah, I think I'll spend a willpower for this.
Okay. I need to be able to see your dice. There we go.
Good thing you spent that willpower. You still
Yep.
got it.
Yeah. You get brave enough to kind of from a distance toss water on it and mud and that sort of thing. You get it put out. There's no one left alive inside your home. Some of your metal valuables got pretty warm to touch, but they didn't melt, so it didn't get too hot in there.
All right. I call for my retainers.
What's left of them reports they're pretty banged up, but they survived.
I'm gonna speak to them.
Yeah, while you speak to them, Jake,
Well, I have something specific I need to say to them.
okay, well, go ahead and say that. Jake, type while he says that, what was your specific message to your village?
Oh, okay.
My faithful men, you have done well. What happened here will echo throughout eternity. I need you to gather everyone who has survived. Everyone. And bring them to the center of this wreckage. I wish to speak. There's something that must be said. For now is the point of no return.
They're pretty down and out still, but they're willing to follow you. Let's see, Jake. I still need your message. Cade, you notice in the distance the messengers are now returning, I guess. I'm kind of
The what?
rushing that a little bit. The message he sent to the village is coming back. You notice,
In the, in the meantime, I would be taking a walk among the peasantry, and I'd like to use that influence I've gathered to convince them that the current leader is not good for them, and that we're
uh,
bringing in somebody else.
the fact that you have been nice to their beggars that are just like one step below them compared to the Duke, yeah, they're listening to you pretty well.
I'm gonna
Shortly after
start.
you do that, you notice the youngest of the wife daughters come out with a small pouch and hand it to you and just walk off.
As a note of how I would have done this, I would have just been approaching people, just spreading it as a rumor that somebody new might be coming, and that if they support them, they will answer to this semi-famous figure they may have heard of from a village over that protects the poor.
Yeah.
They will take a look at the pouch and open it.
It's some really funky smelling grayish powder. Kind of clumpy. It smells almost like flint.
I'm gonna put it away. If there's any of Jake's retainers around, I'm just gonna throw it out and say, "Hold this, don't lose it."
I don't even have any retainers. I just have like mortal people.
That's what retainers are. There you go.
Well, they're ghouls, aren't they? Retainers.
It can be either. I will just hand his. I will just hand one of his mortals this pouch and say, "Don't lose that."
Yeah, they'll take it.
MacCool and MacLeod have arrived with three men, and you notice two of the girls from the nunnery have come, and they explain to you they needed someone to cook their meals and help with domestic work. So
3 men. Remind me to burn all the onion hovels when I get back to town.
they explain your other men were rebuilding damaged parts of your village and will be back.
All right. Well, as soon as they're fucking done with that, they need to join the cause. Did they send the messages out?
He nods. I did, my king.
This town is known for its yellow dyes, I believe, made from honey. So we will take that, and the new banners will be yellow to signify the first town that came under our glorious bull to fight against the Romans. The Golden Banner, we'll call it.
They nod and say aye. They go into the town. One of them stopped and was like, motioned a greeting to you, Cade.
Hmm.
And you know him as just one of Jake's top men, warrior wise.
Uh, as I'm addressing him, I don't open my eyes because they are jet black. I don't let you see that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, these dudes
Anyway,
probably don't even know that I'm a vampire.
Yeah,
We're
let's
trying to keep that. We're trying to keep that away from them for as long as I could. But they know something's up, so they come out at night.
I'm remaining hunched, closing my eyes.
Heather's real name should have been Helsing. Anyway,
But yeah, tell them we're all once they help me because I'm going to continue everywhere we go. We're going to take over the town, and like any people who want to come and fight with us can come and do that.
That's a perfect idea, by the way, out of character.
yeah,
Yeah. I'll even send a messenger with like some fucking gold-dyed shit for these dudes across the river to wear. And be like, yo, your town is just like your king is or your duke has died and is now under the glorious golden banner.
So how
Come
are
with
y'all
us
gonna?
to
Are y'all just?
Sartandir.
I've got to ask. Are y'all just gonna go swinging in, or are you gonna be more stealthy with it?
How is the house defended?
It's
It's
two
only got
guys.
it's two guys, two older men, and it's only got one entrance, and it's one old man. He's got his grandson slash sons that live with him, and his daughter wives that live with him.
Here's what I recommend.
Why don't we just do the direct approach, and I'll just call a couple of my warriors to like axe murder these two guys. All right. What do you have in mind? What do you have in mind?
I just remember Cade. You know he keeps a warehouse of armory under his home, weapons, including this fire powder.
He will hold up a finger that is unnaturally long. It's kind of unnerving as he does so. We need to make this shock and awe. Did your men bring axes?
Of course they bring axes. We don't use anything else.
Have them come around the back and from one side. Have them cut in through the wall. Is the wall stone or wood?
It's a stone.
That would have been rad. I like
The
that
roof?
idea.
It does have wooden beams between the stones, though.
What about the roof?
It's wood.
We're gonna get some ladders. We're gonna take some of your men up to the roof. They're going to cut through the roof and we'll have archers on top. Hold them still. And
Guys
we
who
can come in through the front, deliver our demands, and put them to the sword. Quick and clean.
I'm promoting you to like my general. Whether you like it or not.
I need no titles, Lord Tether.
No, it's not. It's more like a mortal title, which you can't use anyway because just look at you. But you're my general. Just take it as a compliment.
Yeah. By the way, were y'all just talking out loud like normal tone, or were y'all like whispering, or what?
I
We're
always
whispering until I started saying you're my general now.
At that point, some of the Ravnos kind of look over. They kind of clap and go, "Well, good for you," and walk off.
guys,
Hold on. Did you say some of the Ravnos or one of the Ravnos?
Some of the Ravnos.
I didn't know we were traveling with more than one.
Yeah, there's a shit ton.
We refer to Magna's army as Ravnos also, so that because
Okay.
apparently just because they're under Magna, who is Ravnos, Tether's gonna hate them.
That's
They're
fine.
gypsies.
Not all of
but
them.
the guy who is normally a bit weary of your character, Cade, because he looks like a freaking leper, plague carrying, whatever the who is it, actually
No.
almost looks genuinely impressed with you at this point. I couldn't have thought of a better plan myself.
Now, I will go and fetch us some ladders. Get your men ready.
Alright.
Okay. You don't really find any ladders, but the Ravnos suggest rope.
I'm going to ask the peasants.
Cindy says they have one ladder, and that the old man has it.
Oh, let's just fucking make some ladders.
You're going to have to work with them, Jay.
Are there any Latin peasants around?
They actually all speak a good bit of Latin.
No, there's a reason being, because I'm going to try to use my fame and my influence here.
There's, as you're wandering around, you notice a small tavern. There's a Latin woman in it, running it.
I'm just gonna wait outside for her to have to come outside for something.
She'll come out to get a bucket of water.
Excuse me, miss.
She'll turn and look at you and go, "Hi."
Do you know of a man named Capo?
She'll immediately drop a bucket and go, "What can I do for you?"
I need a ladder.
She goes back inside, but this time she goes around and goes back in through what you think is the siding. And she comes out. It's not a very big ladder though. You're gonna have to kind of hop and grab at the top.
He'll take it in his arms. He won't. He'll have his fingers clenched like that, folding back onto his arms. Just hold his arms out.
She'll
Thank you.
hand it to him and go, "You're welcome," and take her bucket. She's like, "I'm gonna go back to work now."
May the Prince of Beggars watch after you, miss.
And you.
He'll walk off with the ladle. He'll take the one from Cinder and take it back to them. Just put the ladders down in front of Tether and bow as he does so.
Oh, thanks for the ladders. I'll have my men set them up as to his specifications, and while they do their shit, I'll just personally walk in and like throat the two guards and walk in while the whole bullshit is happening.
Okay, you'll also notice the largest of what everyone refers to as the Vagos, all black like Magna, except for he's a very tall, like 7 foot tall, muscle bound, huge man with a battle axe, just sitting there watching y'all climb up the roof. Everybody calls him Uncle, if that's something you learned last scene.
Uncle.
Is this guy against us, or
No, he's with y'all.
I will approach, Uncle. Uncle.
Why are you gonna kill Uncle?
No, approach, not kill.
Oh, approach.
You've been playing Grog too much.
Yes, I have. At this point, he'll kind of look at you and grunt.
Would you be interested in having some spoils, Uncle?
He looks over at Magna and she kind of nods her head and goes, "If Mother Magna says it, I'll do it."
If you help our men take this house, you may have my share of the spoils.
He's kind of chewing on his hand, on his lip. He's like cracking his hands like he wants to, and he keeps like looking over at Magna, and she sighs and shakes her head and goes, "Even a little sin you can atone for later, murderer." And he darts into the house after Tether.
He nods and goes back to watching the men.
This dick better not like run up and assassinate the Duke when I'm trying to talk to him.
No. He's like running in. He's looking for someone to kill, and he's like, it's almost like an impatient child. He's waiting for you to finish talking to him and give him an order. Basically, he's an impatient soldier. The Duke is like, "What do you want from me?" Like the women are cowering in the background. One of them's water his throat. That loveliness.
Well, we want only for you to have the honor of being the first to fall under the new golden banner.
I'm not gonna fall under any banner. Don't you know I have enough weapons here to kill all of you?
You have many, many weapons, but no men to use them. So
at this point,
Man, I just need that torch.
it's at this point I give the signal to the men to start hacking through the roof.
Let's make some rolls, because you have some Ravenos up there. Let's see,
They should be able to pretty clearly see me. I'm just giving them a hand gesture.
Yeah, no, I'm making a fucking strength and dex check for him.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, he easily hacks through the lovely thimble wood root, makes a hole. So, yeah, there's like a single beam of moonlight shining down on the Duke, and he's like, "No, I don't want the light on me. Don't let that fucking beggar prince in."
How would he know who I am?
Not even you. He's just using it in reference to all the beggars that oppose him. You do have some.
Archers!
Two of the women have knelt down. They're aiming down the hole with their arrows, best as they can.
Wait just a moment, friends. Wait just a moment. I believe that our large friend from the east wished the right to hack this man to pieces. So, will you fall under our banner, or will you fall under his axe?
Let's see, characters. Let's see. Willpower check for the old man. No! He actually tries to get up and make a jump for the torch to light. Which you.
Okay, I'm gonna activate celerity and just like catch him in midair and eat him.
I'm gonna give it to you because he's a normal human. As you grab him, though, you notice a trail of that of gray, clunky powder leading all the way down to a hatch door, and then from the hatch door all the way out of the house.
Can I see this powder leaving the house?
Huh? If you
Can
were
I-
on the roof looking in, you could see this.
Did I catch him
remember.
before he got the torch, or no?
Yeah, you caught him.
Okay.
You're like holding him down.
Hold on, my brother's at the door.
Yeah, Uncle at this point has moved next to the lovely king. Josh, outside, you have noticed two of the women, the wife daughters, have run out of the little Duke's home, and they're crying. One's holding a naked newborn and is somehow moving, God knows how. I'm trying to make this as gross and gruesome as possible for you.
Alright. Let's see what I do in this horrible situation. This should be
You
interesting.
can deal with the women, or you can go inside and help the men. Jake,
I'm a soldier. I'm not a murderer of women. I'm going to go in and fight.
okay, Josh, you go in and you see Jake's just holding the guy. Jake, your character Tether has noticed Uncle has now moved beside him and said, "Hey, don't disrespect the king." And this is the first full sentence you've heard Uncle really say.
I'm gonna hold the guy up and just be like, I'm going to give you one final chance, and I implore you to reconsider.
Oh no, that's high, but that's still not good enough for this guy. Fuck. He whimpers and he goes, I don't want to fall under your banner. I want to be free.
Oh, well, then you will be free. Uncle, if you would please put this man to the torch.
Okay, strength plus.
Do I hear him say put the man to the torch?
Yes, you do.
I just barge through the door. I'm flat out running.
Before
May I have a word?
before you do this, you're a little late for one part. Uncle starts to rip one of his arms off as he's moving him to the torch, and like the man screaming, and then Uncle just kind of stops. Like,
Uncle,
it looks.
use the axe to clean up.
Uncle just kind of like licks the old man's blood off his face, throws him to the ground, and just pulls his axe off his back. Magna at this point has also moved into the room, and she's just standing in the doorway watching.
We'll put him to the torch after he's been hacked.
All y'all see is just Uncle laughing maniacally as he goes ballistic, hacking this guy up into tiny little slivers.
Hermanus will approach Tether and just whisper in his ear, make sure you strip him before you put him to the torch. He may have been carrying some of that powder. I can't vouch for its effect.
Well, yes, but I just wanted him to burn his face. And if he blows up or bursts into flames, I don't care.
At this point, he's now just hacking it into mush. There's like little chunks of meat like flapping onto y'all and stuff.
Hermanus looks at that and then just turns away. Now, we should tear this place apart, see if we can find that firepower. We should probably be moving on by tomorrow night.
Well, no, you're not going to need to tear this place apart. This is the Dark Ages, and that means that buildings are very simple.
At this point, the man who was hacking on the roof has jumped down through the hole. His face covering has come off, and he's got a very dark complexion and slanted eyes, black hair, black eyes, and he's got like these weird, like serpent-like tattoos around his neck.
I ignore him.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is that?
This is one of the Ravanos army. You can tell by their colors.
Where are my men? Get my men in here.
All
Right
right.
away.
I'll just like open the door or whatever and let the men in.
Yeah, the door's open. Magnus is standing by it. Your men start coming in.
Just can you do me a favor and roll 7 dice for leadership intimidation?
There you go. 2, 8, 6, 1, 5, 8, 7.
So that's, let's see.
3 successes, I think.
All right. You throw it, Marcus, get in here.
They shit themselves as they run in. And that they explain that they're ready to go whenever the king's ready. Everything's prepared. The Ravnos even loaded the supplies for them.
We approaching Tether again, whispering in his ear. We should wait until your men are here to secure the throne. Then we should move on. No sooner.
Of course. Then
These are men from the village that were going to
Yeah.
manage the village.
At this point, you notice Magna motions Uncle and Israel. They go with her, and they follow little Cindy from the doorway out into the town.
so I'll just like sit on that throne for a second, and then I'm gonna give it to McLeod.
I'm going to run after Cindy for a minute.
She's actually holding Magna's hand when you catch up with them.
I will lean down next to her and knee at the waist. I will be just over a 90-degree angle, and I'll just whisper in her ear, "Tell my brother to support the man on the throne. It will be good for the family."
Do you and the nice lady work together? She asked me to do the same thing. She gave me a whole gold piece. And then he just kind of shrugs and runs off.
He'll just nod at Magda and walk back.
So, yeah, if you want to jerk her back, Cindy'll jerk and stay back. You're
No.
Yeah. Magna.
That was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, Magna just kind of looks at you, doesn't say anything, walks off with her men.
I just nod and walk as well. Back to Tathan.
Okay, so let's find all this shite, get loaded up, and I suppose we'll be spending the night here.
Seems good to me.
You, by the way, Tether have like 4 women quivering outside the house. His wife's crying.
McLeod, these are yours.
McLeod just kind of cracks his fingers, goes, thank you, your majesty. Come on, ladies, I'm your new husband daddy now. And it leads them back into the house.
If you could see Harmonist's expression, which you can't because of the mask, he would look somewhat sickened by this. But he says nothing.
Sorry, McCool. You get the next one. You're coming with us.
McCool goes, it's alright. I had your sister, went back when she was alive, your majesty. Says it kind of laughing. You realize he's a little drunk.
I fucking wreck his shit in front of everybody. I don't use my claws or anything, but I just beat the shit out of him.
He lays there whimpering like a little girl.
Exactly what they mean by undisciplined.
Aye, you're with him now. I point at Gaius. Till we get to the... See if you can shape him up before we get to the next place. I need disciplined rulers.
As you say, you're with him now. He screams, "Please, not Uncle!" That goes, "Oh, thank God!" and moves over to Gaius. No offense, but Uncle's intimidation's slightly higher than yours, Josh.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
He's Goliath.
Yeah, our Uncle is Goliath, basically, who likes boys instead of women.
Oh,
Uh,
gross.
at this point, you're all resting. You notice Magnus made her people sleep away from yours. She's told them to make camp across from you and keep moving farther back until the king's happy. You don't know whether to be creeped out or offended by how lenient and kind she's being lately.
I'm going to approach Michael.
Hermanus,
Hmm?
moment of your time. Make sure the Ravnos do not get their hands on any of the fire powder.
Put one of your men on sentry. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I will, but these Ravnos are, you can't trust them. They're dark.
The archer that was reporting to you last thing, Jake, it has walked by and mumbled, who says they don't already have some.
At this, my eyebrows just arch, kind of like, oh, great. Now I gotta watch for explosions.
We've just founded the Taliban.
He will bow to the king, adjust his face mask, and approach Magno.
She's sitting there telling Cindy a story about a faraway land in the desert where they make magic powder that explodes and how it makes dragons.
I'm just gonna listen in.
Basically, Cindy's asking, how do you know it's real? And she goes, I've been to these deserts. They get hotter than dragon's breath, and you can see fairies dance in the distance. Basically, she's taking bits of reality and making it into a story for a kid.
When she's done, I'm just going to lean down next to her. Do you mind if I use the coach again today?
She just nods at you and she goes, I have a tent. I'll be fine.
Nods. I appreciate it. And he's gonna wait. He's gonna watch outside the carriage and wait for most of the men to go to sleep.
The men start falling asleep. About that time is when Magna actually starts setting up her tent. She's put multiple blankets inside her tent, so you notice she doesn't ever change her out of her black cloak robings either. She even keeps her fingers covered normally, and then she.
I am actually keeping sentry outside her door rather protectively, just making sure she's not hassled by anybody.
I'm gonna wait for.
Needs you to protect her, but that's a very nice gesture.
I'm going to wait for Magna to go into the tent.
By the way, the only two Ravanos that are awake now, Tether, Jace, any of you still awake that would know, are Uncle and the Arabic/Asian-ish tanned looking man. Y'all don't probably know where he originates from. Israel, sitting over there by their little camp hanging out.
I'm going to leave the carriage and start sneaking around the camp, looking around for any firepower I can find. Cursory search, not going in depth into everybody's possessions.
The closest you get smell-wise is actually coming off the Israel who hacked the roof for you.
I'm going to attempt to sneak closer to get a better smell.
It smells like the fire powder, but it smells older than the batch y'all found. Like he's had it longer than you know, y'all.
I'm going to go back to my carriage and just prepare to rest the day away.
Okay, Gaius, what are you doing?
I am finding like a nice dry root cellar or somewhere down underground where it's light and tight and just crashing like a bear.
Tether, you gonna sleep, fuck lasses, drain them till they're dry, what?
I'm gonna find the armory, and hopefully it doesn't have any windows, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna sleep in there.
Yeah, it doesn't have any windows, but you find a huge pile of gold coins.
I fucking put that shit in my pocket. Or my little, like...
I mean, it's literally a giant-ass pile you could sleep on. It's so big.
Look, Mom, a dragon!
yeah, you notice there's also what looks like, um, I'm trying to find the right word they would have used in that timeline. Basically, barrels for fermenting L's.
Uh-huh.
Oh, kegs.
Yeah, kegs. You find kegs down there also. Weapons.
Right.
Other than that, you're good.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have some of my trusted men guard this building, and I take all the weapons and shit to arm all of my very ill prepared men. I'll give them chainmail, but nothing that's gold. They can't wear any kind of Roman brass.
Okay, Matthew, that speech you were talking about while they rest, you can go ahead and give that speech to your men you wanted to give since you want to be dramatic.
So I stand there on among the ruins, the people there. Uh, I take some of the blood from the bodies of some of the dead and just smear it around like half of my like lower face, like as if I were to take like my hands, put them by my nose, and just like rub it. Um, I look at everyone fondly, and that's when my character speaks. My friends, my dear beloved kin, gaze upon the grim reality of this world. Watch upon the destruction wrought by those worms who pose as kings. Do you not remember this feeling? Of course, we all do. We all remember the screams and the sacrifice as invaders came to drive us further west. And we have run and hid and compromised to the point where we felt that our very humanity would break. And we have slept among the piles of rotting bones that were, yes, one of our own friends and kin. And here we are, by our own will alone, by our bones and the blood and the teeth that keep us gripping on to something. Do you remember what it is that our teeth have held tightly and our throats have eagerly waited to be washed by? All we wanted was a home, and so down below we have been forced. Our land, the Svartonder, our land, washed again with the blood of those who never deserved to die. I honestly wish that it was me instead of them who had gone. I wish it was me who died instead of those innocent children and the women who now remain ghosts. But so are we now, damned, down below, deeper. And now, for no ideology or greater good, for not hope or love, but vengeance shall we know, and show the whole world exactly where it is that we belong. For this is the threshold from which we can never look back upon, because the place that we come from is dead, and so are we. And yet our voices shall ring together as a din of oblivion. We shall never resist and fight the hypocrites, the sheep kings. How dare they say that they have the heart to sit upon a throne when they have not even a soul to die for their people? Fight for me, and I shall take you to a path beyond justice, beyond human, for revenge. This place will be rebuilt, and yet we will move on, and we will plunder and pillage and destroy everything. And we shall make allies who move against those with the brand that crosses out life and light. And we shall destroy the parasites and ghouls that drain this world into the weak and feeble, massive evil that we walk upon now. My men, my dear friends, we shall have our day of vengeance. End of speech.
Yeah, at this point, your men have rallied. You have successfully raised the morale enough to arm themselves. They've burned your dead and are, getting rid of the ashes. How whatever you ritually do them in your religion. I don't know what religion your village is.
I'm just gonna have
Um,
everybody smear the remains of the ashes on them, like on top of
yeah,
their head.
it's almost dawn, so your guy should go to sleep and say you march at evening.
Yeah.
Uh, while at the same time, it's the next evening for you guys, because slightly different hours here because you're traveling. I'm gonna get y'all at least to Matt's village before we end scene.
The
Uh,
last thing I want to do is just tell my retainers to send out the spies and go search for a suitable place to pillage that we can plunder. Hopefully, something with supplies, a supply base somewhere. I don't know, whatever they can find.
okay, they're gonna go out and pillage and search then. You three gentlemen are just waking up to the next evening. Cade, your character, has felt like something cold was stroking his face all night. Well, morning for you.
He gets up, acts as though nothing is wrong.
Gaius, you wake up. You had this horrible nightmare where it felt like you were being giggled at almost. You didn't know what gender, you didn't know from where. It was just darkness and everything was laughing at you. And Tether, you woke up from a nightmare feeling like you were being squished.
By idiots.
Not letting this bother him, Hermanus will go and find Tether.
Yeah, Cindy has also brought sweet fairy bread to you guys and is trying to give it to you for breakfast slash dinner.
Eat food, so hey,
Yeah, you can eat food. Cindy doesn't know actually what you guys are. She only knows what the old man Cade's character visited is. So she's just trying to be nice because hey, y'all gave her money.
He'll wave her off. The family can't eat like that, no.
I say this from a slice of bread halfway to my mouth. What do you mean?
You're not one of the family.
Uh, Jake, did you freeze?
No.
Okay, thought you froze there. Tether, you're awake. Your minions are with you. The archer general has set a water skin down beside you and just walked off. And
Alright, well I'm gonna take like 1/5 of the gold that's in that room and like divide it up among everybody for their spoils.
I will follow Tether. Um, as he's dividing it up, I will tell him about the fire powder I found and how I suspect it's older than the stuff we've just found. And I will also tell him to give my share to
Uncle.
Uncle.
I'll give it to you and tell him to give it to him yourself.
You know what? He
So
has
you're
just
telling him
absorbed it.
about the story you heard from Magna and the batch Israel had on him?
Just the batch, not the story.
Yeah.
Right, I'll have to talk to him. But I'm basically just gonna get the men armed and everything, and armored, and have them take all the surplus with us, because we're gonna have to arm more people along the way. And then I'll have like another fifth of the gold, like kept
Um,
here, and the rest of it will go back to Deer to Bane, the Red River.
yeah. As y'all exit the building, though, Cade, you go to give your part to Uncle. You notice the old
Mm-hmm.
man and Cindy are standing by the carriage. Cindy's actually getting into the carriage.
What in the fuck is
Um,
going on?
just distracted by the appearance of his cousin, he will give Uncle the gold, just kind of absentmindedly just handing it to him, and he will approach the old man.
Make sure you're doing as well as I think you're doing. I think you need some eyes for the day hours.
He looks him over.
I'm not talking a
Looks a bit
soldier
confused.
or something. I'm giving you someone who can collect you info and go in smaller places.
Has she already been, he shows his wrist.
She's been fed this morning, yes. She can
You
eat
know,
normal food also. She's still mortal.
very well. She's under my protection. I shall return her once our business is concluded. I appreciate your
Good.
support.
He kind of nods and just smiles and goes, keep her as long as you want or need her, and just walks off.
Lord.
I'm right up to Kate. I mean, to Hermanus. Just what was that all about?
Our clanmate has sent the child with us.
We can't be taking a child into battle. It'll be detrimental to our cause.
I have no intention of taking her into battle, however her eyes may be useful. Besides, God only knows how old she is.
Aye, but keep her safe and away from the fighting.
Of course.
Cindy just kind of looks out, nods, like she's agreeing with Tether, and leans back in.
I will get into the carriage myself, and sitting opposite her, reveal my face.
She doesn't actually look scared at you at all, and she goes, that's how Daddy actually looked when he dropped his magic. Which is,
You know,
typical child reaction.
he nods. The others here don't know what we are. I mean, Tether there, and he'll point to, Gaius, and he know what we are. But still, it's a secret of you.
She nods, she goes, I'm not stupid. Secrets are easy to keep. It's
Just
the
making
truth
sure we're
that's
clear.
hard. He says, yeah.
he'll kind of rub her on the head with just his fingers.
You notice she has a little side bag. She's opened it. She's got like a little small pamphlet. It's just got like little poems written on it. She's kind of flipping through, just entertaining herself, basically. She's pretty independent of a goal.
Wait, is she reading?
Yeah. The other one's taught her to read. It's all in Latin.
Yeah, he'll smile and put his face mask back on, go and address the others again.
Yeah. Magna's getting her people ready. You've noticed Tether. They have taken all the barrels of fire powder the Ravnos have and have put it with your men. They haven't taken any. There's none unaccounted for from the armory.
Good.
But you do see Israel, the one you were told has some fire powder, walking by.
Oh yeah. I put my hand on his shoulder.
He stops. He looks at you. He doesn't
Would
really
have-
say anything.
Would have been good to know that you had some of this fire powder before we went through the entire trouble of fucking taking over this town.
He looks confused at you, and he looks over at Magna, and she motions towards a pouch. He goes, oh, the boom. He speaks with really bad broken Latin. You can tell it's not his native tongue. And
I will approach and ask him in Greek. Do you speak Greek?
he goes, not good. In Greek.
Latin is fine.
He points at the powder and goes, not a lot. Family makes.
Brother, let me have a word.
Of course.
It may be best not to cost him too much on this. It's a small amount, couldn't help us that much. But if we can keep them in our good graces, his family might be able to provide for us in the future.
I was thinking the same thing, but I'd like them to provide for us now when we need it. Fine. And he just like he lets the dude go.
Did you say that loud enough for Israel to hear you?
Yeah, for sure.
He looks at you and goes, talk more and provide. He says and walks up back over to Magna.
Well, I suppose that's that. We should get moving. We don't have all night.
Yeah, so y'all are moving. Y'all travel around along the road. You've noticed the road's still scattered. There's even some animal carcasses scattered about it. Adonis is basically leaving chaos for you guys. Out of character, you guys would know there are certain laws the vampires do follow, including not creating a huge fuckfest in public eye. which Adonis is basically doing.
Having seen this,
So,
Tether will.
AKA, Adonis is gonna get his ass plundered by my boot.
Seeing this, Commodus will lean out of his carriage and beckon Tether.
I'll ride my horse over alongside the carriage.
So, Jess,
He
is this
opens
the
the
point
door.
where they're like, are they riding to Adonis now? Is that what's going on?
They're
We're
riding
riding to you.
Oh, they're riding to me. Okay.
He just says, "You now have my support," and closes the door.
Good to know. And I'll have like some guards put around the carriage, just like a few men on horses.
Gaius will actually look rather kind of grimly smiling. I'll do my best to teach you.
Sorry, I was looking over my notes for this. The last village before Matt's town, when you get to it, there's nothing left. It's been completely burnt. All the people are dead and piled up around the fountain in the middle of the town.
Mm. Well,
That's my work.
And
I'll turn. Can I address the men about that?
yeah, you can. You can also see Matt's village in the distance. It's just a couple more miles.
All right. Well, I point at this shit, and I'm just like, take this in because this is what's going to happen to us and everyone we know if we don't stop them. Now we're going to this village over here,
Yeah.
and we're going to get the support of, hopefully get the support of my friend.
Your men are cheering. Cade, you notice as Tether started giving this speech, Sin, we'll call her Sin for short because that's her nickname on this character sheet, has actually started looking out the carriage window. And she gets a very serious look on and she goes, "Are we going after a bad man?"
Yeah.
She said,
She sits back down, opens her bag up again, pulls out another small pamphlet. She goes, "I hope y'all hang his head from a spike," and goes
"We
back
will."
to reading.
If I can hear this, I'll actually say that.
If you're riding by the carriage, you can probably hear her. It's not like glass windows; it's just like cloth. But as you continue riding, I don't know if you make your men clean up the bodies any or purify.
No.
Or
Yeah,
whatever.
my guys would just. I mean, all our armor would be scorched with the fire that burned, that cremated our dead.
I'm talking about the village they just.
Oh, they're talking about the village. Okay.
Yeah. And you continue.
We'd say some kind of prayer, and then I would just like, maybe we'll like, if we have the time, we'll like pile them and cover them in lye. They're already piled, so just cover them in some lye, and then fucking. Oh, I'm gonna tell them that these people that were coming at this next town are not like us, but they don't like the Romans, and I think they'll be an ally to the Golden Banner, although they might not fall under it.
They kind of nod. At this point, you as you reach the town, you see Matt giving his wonderful orders. You hear the men talking about this grand speech their leader did while coating himself in the people's blood.
Alright, well, if I could see him rallying the troops like that while we're walking up, I'll wait in the distance till he's finished, and then blow some horns as we come over the ridge.
Basically, yeah, you just see him repeating a speech from the other night. You notice people are actually taking the children that are hanging down and some of the women, and you've noticed villagers rebuilding it. The women are rebuilding, the men are actually arming up.
Yo, Matt,
more men.
you would see as we approach, it's just like, first it's like a bunch of Celtic dudes, and you probably would see pillars and shit, and then he sees like a bunch of like legionnaires behind him, and that probably freaks you out, and then the Ravnos, and then all these other like tribes and shit, and they're all flying this like yellow banner died from that first town shit.
I quickly order my retainers to put my black armor on and give me my claymore, but not to be hostile, just everyone to guard this place. I'm gonna meet them myself. I want my retainers with me.
Your retainers go with you. Heather, Pig-Nosed Pete has actually pulled out his small knife closer to his side and is riding on his jackass beside you.
No, he's not.
He's trying.
No, he's not doing that for sure.
Yeah.
He can't. I'm not bringing him. He's fucking 5 years old. Stop giving children that we need to take care of.
Then you don't need to take care of. Pig-Nosed Pete is the only child in your group you need looked out for.
Oh, yeah. Word.
At this point,
Well, yeah, I'll ride out to meet Matt.
Yeah. And Uncle's waiting behind you, Tether. Just.
I don't like it,
Seeing
but
you starting to ride out, Harmonious will step out of his carriage and follow on foot.
Yes. And your ghoul does not get out of the carriage, but you notice she's pulled something that looks like a strap of leather out and put something round in the middle of it.
He looks it over briefly, but thinks nothing of it.
Alright, so, Matt, Jake, your characters have met and are speaking.
So I take off my black helmet and keep it under my left arm. You would just see my character. He's got he looks a bit aged. He's got very short black hair. His bang.
Matt, you and Jake have met. You don't have to describe your character. You
just doing
described
it
him
for
last
me,
time.
I think.
Remember?
Yeah, I never got to really all right. So you basically know what he looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks like the picture.
Yeah, it looks just like the picture. What about your character? I don't know what he looks like.
He's like a little under 6 feet tall. I have a little picture down there. He's got like blondish red hair. Well, my quality's tell me you can't see it. But he's wearing like a gold tabard. And he's got like a blue and green kilt on. And he's got like a battle axe. He's got some chainmail. And his boys are dressed similarly. They're all dressed in gold now. He's got gold betters. And he has like a big mustache and beard that comes down and like braids in his hair. His hair is mad long.
The only person dressed differently is Harmonious, who is in a black kind of cloak. The only thing you can really see of his face are eyes that are sunken in really tired-looking sockets that are kind of lined with scabs that are completely jet black.
He's basically dressed like Magna and Arabanos.
Do I see Josh's character?
Oh, yeah, I would have come up right beside Tether, just sort of protectively as this huge sort of man mountain of muscle and scary-ass scar tissue.
And how do I pronounce your first name, Jake?
Tether.
Tether? Okay. Tether, my friend. Welcome to Svartonder.
Thank you. My condolences for what happened to your village. We had a similar incident. Our women and children were massacred.
They will always be with me.
Aye. And we have come seeking your support against the men who did this.
You do? Ah, but you seem to have done well for yourself.
Aye, we've been getting the countryside under one banner to fight these legionnaires, and I believe that they are a rogue legion. We have a few generals, and he points over to like where Grog and his boys are, and you might even see Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar.
Before he was Caesar, he's still Julius. Regular old Julius.
You have come at an opportune moment, my friend.
Aye, and we believe we know where we are going.
So I look around. I'm gonna look at Josh's character and Cade's character, and then I look back to Tether. And who are these men?
They are allies. They are of the blood.
I recognize that one there. I point to Josh's character.
Aye, he fights for the Legion, unfortunately, but it was a false Legion which has slayed our kinfolk.
Well, that is to be expected. They are nothing but sheep.
Agreed.
Well, then, if
But
you have come...
some of them, some of these, he points to like Josh's men, are wolves in sheep's clothing.
He gazes upon the wolves in sheep's clothing. they look like they will do. I give you my sword in support, and my black knights.
Will you ride under the golden banner? And I indicate everyone else riding under the golden banner with my thumb. It is the symbol of the united peoples of the countryside. We are to form a coalition of sorts once this is sorted.
I might have to think about that.
Aye. Well, your sword is all that I require, and I'll extend up my hand.
I grasp onto his hand in camaraderie.
Yeah, we do that Roman wrist shake.
Yes.
I'll actually look at the Ostrogoth sword. Um, I don't know if you have another spare of those, but I think it would suit.
Oh.
Aye, we have armaments and extra weapons if your men are lacking in supplies.
Well, then I might take a gander.
I'll just have, like, is it acceptable for me to bring the men closer?
Yes.
I'll just motion for everyone to come in. And
Okay,
we'll come in and start
let
trading and shit.
I let my retainers know to ease the men to let them know what's going down.
yeah, they all come in. Grog and Magna come in together. They're Magna's army group she brought along, though, come in last.
Okay.
They're a little.
We've even support from farther east, and he points at the Ravnos.
You will find much of value here. Land, animals, a guild of farmers, and many men thirsty for vengeance.
I'm just gonna give him, like, a grin.
Our resources are deep here.
Aye, this looks like a richer place than
Yeah.
the Red River. You have more than onions and otters here.
Alright, well, as y'all go into whatever base of operations Matthew has set up to do warm councils in, talk about this, Sen's kind of climbed out of the carriage, told you she's going to stretch her legs and has slipped off. Magna and Grog are doing their own thing. We're going to end up this year since the next card is actually fighting Adonis.
Yeah.
And we probably want Grog involved because I think he would be very angry if he missed out. Yeah, so if there's any last minute things you want to wrap up, you better do them fast because I've got to get off.
I will send you some messages about stuff I'd like to do, but it's mostly downtime stuff that wouldn't really need to be done in Zoom.
No problem. And when I can, I'll send you a copy of the Ghouls character sheet because you'll probably need it for anything you have planned.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Jess, all I gotta say is this is turning out pretty awesome.
It is, I agree.
Thank you.
You're very good at this.
I don't know if that's you being sarcastic or sweet, Jake, but I will take it as sweet and thank you.
Good.
And the scene is over.